Hey guys, Kamina the coach here. Welcome back. I know it's been a long time. If you're new here, my name is Kamina the coach. I've been working and living abroad as a professional educator for over 10 years. I am currently in my 8th different country, Baghdad, Iraq. I moved back to the United States in March of 2020 and started really aggressively dealing with early childhood trauma and adoption trauma because I was forced back to the United States due to COVID. In September of 2022, I was able to get back out of the United States, obviously, and so you'll find a mixture of videos on this channel about how to live a more healthy whole life, how experiences of living abroad, and kind of my take on how to possibly do it better if you see eye to eye with my philosophies on the world, and then my experiences as an adoptee and working through healing adoption trauma. So you will find a mixture of all videos of all these things on my channel. I haven't done a video in a long time. Why? It's a good question. So historically, holidays have not been so today is the day after what the United States calls Thanksgiving 2023, and honestly it's not the holiday itself that has been hard. So what has been hard for me since I've come back from Sicily, so in October, mid-October, I went to Sicily to visit one of my ancestral lands, and it was beautiful, it was magical. However, I came back feeling kind of untethered and maybe not so good about myself. And so in my plant healing journey in 2021, when I did some radical plant medicine and some really unearthing of really painful wounds, I did some self-love work and inner child work, and really learned how to embrace loving myself for the first time in my life. Right now, I'm really struggling with leaning into that because I'm able to see very clearly with all the polarization in the world. I'm able to see very clearly in the areas where I'm lacking. I'm able to see how I'm still kind of caught up in a fight or flight mode in my brain, and how it's making me behave in some ways that I would rather not, honestly. And I have empathy and compassion. I'm trying to have empathy and compassion for why. I do understand why why I have this programming, but at some point it becomes like, what are you going to do with this? So I think that I've been really, really hard on myself in this period of time. Also, the atmosphere is really bad here. The air quality is really bad here. So I haven't been able to, as you can see, it's pretty sunshiny here. It's kind of chilly. It's in the upper 60s daily, but still not too cold that I couldn't go ride my bike around the campus. But I haven't been able to do that because the air quality has been so bad, and I'm very, very sensitive to the air quality. So I've kind of been stuck inside, and I think that being able to get out in nature would help a lot. And so I've just been really, really stuck inside of myself, being very critical with myself, and it's been very, very, very uncomfortable. I was a little short with my energy worker, and then I've been really critical with myself about how I behaved with her. I'm at the end of my rope with my students here in this country, and I'm not proud of how I've been behaving here. And just in general, looking at my temperament and how I behave when I'm backed into a corner. I won't get the quote exactly right because I don't remember exactly how Dr. Martin Luther King put it, but he did say something to the effect that you see a man's true character when they're under pressure. it's easy to be good and what you know you're supposed to be when everything is going well. You see a person's true character when they are pressed. And I am repeatedly not impressed with the person that I prove to be when I'm under serious duress. And I have known that for a while, but I think I've reached a critical point for some reason, something that was triggered after coming back from Italy. I'm not sure what it was, but that's why I haven't done a video, because I haven't been feeling very good about myself. And I've been working, staying in routine, staying in my practice, doing some energy cleansing work, my daily meditations to try and heal and center. I found a new course called, it's new to me, but it's not new. The practitioner, the man who created it, has actually passed away some years ago. It's called Nonviolent Communication. Matthew, his name started with an M. I really enjoy the lessons, however, also kind of recognizing that I have not been communicating nonviolently. I have been communicating the way that society has programmed us to communicate, in a way where there is a power structure, and that especially in the classroom, like, I am the power, and yes, I will give you a certain amount of power, but if you do good, then I'll reward you, and if you don't, then I'll punish you. And that is in general, I think how society has programmed us for parent and children relationships, teacher student relationships, and boss and employee relationships, rich and poor relationships, any group against another group, and this adversarial type relationship. And the courses essentially are talking about being able to empathize, and once you're able to empathize with someone and understand their needs and the needs that are not being met, and the whys behind why they are communicating with you the way that they are, trying to get those needs met. And in studying that stuff, it's really, and also in studying Adlerian psychology as well, that everything is a choice, which I already know. And in studying Adlerian, it was just a repetition of everything that I already know. But it feels like kind of the universe just, of course, everything is on repeat until you learn. The lessons continually cycle back around until you choose to learn it. And I cannot run from it anymore. And I feel internally a big struggle to make the changes that I need to make. And it's frustrating me. And it's making me feel ashamed of myself. And it's quite painful. But on the upside of that, I had a really nice conversation today. That's why I'm able to find the space to make this video. And the person said to me, "Oh, so this hasn't been a good experience." I'm like, well, no growth comes out of being comfortable. So it is what I choose to make of this, and the growth that I must choose to take from this. And so that's how I'm looking at this. What do I need to do to make the long-term changes that I need to make as a result of this discomfort? And things that I need to be able to do for myself. And though I will see my light worker next month, things that I need to do on my own. It's quite painful. And I've been experiencing a lot of chest pain, like working through the discomfort that I have just with myself. And while feeling the discomfort and recognizing that I need to change, and still holding the compassion and love for myself, it's really difficult. It's been very difficult for me. And that's why I haven't made a video in a while. I'm not sure how long it's been, but it feels like it's been a long time. I've also, or I'm trying anyways, to cut off a long time tie that is a trauma bond, over 20 years trauma bonded. I've talked about that I came overseas to escape this trauma bond, and we still remain quite trauma bonded. And because we have had so much time and space apart, that this person is able to see how detrimental this relationship is to me, because us continuing to kind of orbit around each other has kept me from being able to build any other type of meaningful romantic relationships. And we haven't been romantic in a very long time, but it has been a fallback for a long time and kind of a crutch. And so letting go of that, also making me feel relatively untethered, because I just don't have a lot of people, and quality over quantity. But when it comes down to it, as I get ready to transition, because I'm going back to Mexico in January, as I get ready to transition, there are things that I need to do, and not having that kind of home base, I feel very untethered. And this is kind of the first time that I've been transitioning where I just don't have a place in the United States at all to kind of circle back through. It is for all intents and purposes, my intentions to go see my father's family in Ohio while I'm there, but it's going to be very difficult because there are no Mexican consulates near where the family lives. The closest Mexican consulate is in Detroit, and they're in Ohio. It's very cold in Ohio. I don't really have a desire to go to cold Ohio. One of my dear friends is in Virginia. The closest Mexican consulate to there is Washington, D.C., so that's 3 hours. I have one friend left in South Carolina, and there are not any Mexican consulates in South Carolina. There's one in Raleigh, North Carolina, which is quite a drive from Columbia, South Carolina. So, yeah, I'm feeling very untethered, feeling a little sad that there's nobody to go see, I guess. I had done a video about somebody that I was speaking with long distance for several months, and I had been kind of, orbiting around this person for a while, and they had been kind of saying, yeah, let's see what happened, if you can be patient with me, blah, blah. And I had checked in because I'm coming to the United States, and this person was like, oh yeah, I've been dating, I'm seeing someone. I'm like, oh, thanks for telling me. And I'm happy for them, and I wish they would have told me earlier. But even just talking about it now, it's just I don't need a romantic relationship. It's just an utter lack of any kind of tethering. I feel very untethered, kind of just floating around. So that's why the feeling of urgency to move to Mexico and really stay in Mexico, to attempt to build some type of community in Mexico, because I just don't, and not a lot of people, but even if it is just many acquaintances, just some type of community. Because again, the only word I really have for it is disconnected, untethered. There's just not much. I'm just kind of floating around out there. There's several people that would kind of let me roll through, but the United States is very expensive these days, and I have to make this money really last when I go to Mexico, because I'm making like a tenth of what I'm making here, there. So, I don't know. Feeling very untethered, feeling quite critical of myself, which doesn't feel good, because I do love myself, and I recognize that I deserve compassion, but then also recognizing that other people deserve love and compassion as well. And just because I love myself doesn't mean that anybody else should become a whipping board because I love me. So trying to figure out how to make all this work, how to remain peaceful through the transition. I'm feeling quite anxious as the transitioning period. So we're at the end of November, so about 2 months out, so less than 60 days out from my departure date. And I am feeling a little anxious because I don't have a visa yet from Mexico, and it's just a lot. It's not really a lot, I don't think. I think I'm probably internally making it more because I like to have a plan. I like to control because life has been very chaotic in the past. So I tend towards control freak, and because I don't know what's coming and I don't have a concrete plan, that's making me feel uncomfortable. So being able to just understand that everything will work out the way that it's supposed to work out, and finding peace in that is easier said than done for me right now. Even though I know with certainty that it will, it is easier said than done right now. So that was a mouthful. All right, well, I just needed to get it out, needed to say it to someone. Are you with me? Do you feel me? Anybody feeling this way? I don't really think it's the holidays. I don't feel it in any connection to the holidays, but I do feel it in some connection to not being able to get out into the earth and not being able to be out in the sunshine and not having a plan, which I think a lot of people who have come from trauma and a lot of adoptees can relate to. So I'm gonna leave it there. There's no real moral to the story or anything. Just me being raw and honest and real. It's a journey, you know, and I continue to work at it. I'll be the first one to admit that I'm not perfect, and that there's always going to be work that I need to do. So I share my story in hopes that people can find inspiration and hope and the gumption to try to do better and be better as well. So until next time, my name is Kamina the Coach, and as always, sending you a love, light, peace, and joy. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.